There's 12 appropriations bills, and Congress's one big job every year is to pass 12 appropriations bills and set a priority for the federal government, what we want to spend money on and what we don't. But for whatever reason, of course politics is really big at play, like they cannot pass 12 appropriations bills and get them signed into law for the life of them.
Welcome to The Debrief, where we talk with the Washington Examiner's top journalists about the headlines they're covering and where the story's going next. I'm Sarah Bedford, and I'm here with politics editor Marisa Schultz. Marisa, at the time of this taping, we are on day 2 of a shutdown that does not appear to have a clear end in sight. Who do you think is going to blink first?
It's a very good question. Right now, what makes this shutdown different from past shutdowns is that it's the Democrats that are making the demands. And right now, the Republicans are saying, no way, we're not going to negotiate at all. And if we keep it as a standstill, the president is saying we're going to have pain for you, essentially inflicting pain on Democrats. And how that looks is he's saying we want to have layoffs of federal government workers. We want to cut funding to blue states on projects we really don't like, and including projects in New York where Leader Schumer and Jeffries of the Democratic Party reside. So the plan right now, if you're the president or if you're a GOP leader, is to put so much pressure on Democrats who traditionally support federal workers, who support the government, and do it enough so they cave. That's the strategy, at least for right now.
What leverage do Democrats think they have in this situation? Because as you mentioned, federal workers tend to be a constituency of Democrats. Republicans, conservatives especially, love a good shutdown. Shut it down. You know, they don't seem to be in a rush, as you say, to open it up because this gives them an opportunity to go in and make cuts and do sort of reductions in force that they might not otherwise get to do. So it seems like Republicans have a ton of cards right now. What cards do Democrats have?
So not many. So the math of this all is this can pass the House easily, and it already did because it just needs a simple majority in the House. The trouble is in the Senate. So in order for anything to happen in the Senate, there needs to be a 60-vote coalition. And right now, that requires Democratic support. There's not enough Republicans to do that. We've seen in the course of a couple days that some Democrats have caved, essentially. So they just need 5 more. And so the thought is that 5 more will eventually come over, and that's how this will end. But Democrats are really emboldened because they have a base that wants to do something. They feel really beat up. They feel like the past few months where Trump has been doing everything, including DOGE cuts and to implementing his agenda, they haven't put up much of a fight. And so this is what the base at least wants, that Democrats stick it out as much as they can. And that's what's sort of fueling the resistance right now.
So I guess what you're saying is that some Democrats view the shutdown for the sake of a shutdown to be a win in and of itself, even though there is no incentive for the White House or Republicans to give concessions to get the government back open. Not clear they even want the government back open, right?
Right. So the messaging on the Democratic side is related to health care. And they feel at this moment that that's the hill to die on. And so what Democrats have done in their list of demands for Republicans is they've said they want various things. And much of it is related to health care, but there's other goodies in there, including like restoring funding to NPR and PBS that Democrats support. But the first thing is they want to extend Obamacare subsidies. And these are not the traditional Obamacare subsidies. These are these expanded tax credits that were put in place during the pandemic and the Biden administration to sort of get more people access to health care. Those are expiring at the end of the year. They want to make sure those are in place before the November 1st open enrollment, where people are going to be going on the Obamacare exchanges and choosing their plans. They also want to roll back some of the Medicaid cuts that were part of the One Big Beautiful Bill and do other things that will help hospitals and whatnot. So they're thinking that healthcare traditionally has been a winning message for them, and if there's a chance to sort of rally the base and to force Republicans to make a concession. It could be something on Obamacare subsidies that may affect people in their home states and in red districts as well.
So the CR expires in 7 weeks, right? So Republicans want to sort of revisit this all again right before Thanksgiving. Conservatives hate when they do that because that's a great way to like load up an omnibus, and the pressure of everybody wanting to get out of town for the holidays is how you get those monster spending bills. But let's say that that's what happens, right? That in 7 weeks we're sort of back to square one. It seems that the most likely off-ramp right now rather would be Republicans saying we will talk about extending the ACA subsidies in November. Does the base take it as a sign of weakness if that's good enough for Democrats to reopen the government for an additional, 6 weeks now? Are they going to get the same type of treatment that Schumer got the last time he cut a deal? Or do they need a concession bigger than sure, later? I winked. You can't tell I did it on this side.
Yeah, definitely there's a lot of lost trust right now on Capitol Hill. So Republicans are saying we'll deal with these Obamacare subsidies outside the context of the shutdown debate. We don't want to do policy in a shutdown debate.
This shutdown, next shutdown, the one in 6 weeks.
We can deal with that at a later date. And Democrats are saying your assurances mean nothing. We don't trust you at all. They go through a litany of things where they feel like they've been burned. We need something lockstep in writing that this is going to happen, or else we have nothing to show for our efforts. And I think it's just important to take maybe a small step back to how we got here. This is just a reoccurring example of dysfunction in the federal government. In theory, and I say that very gently, there's 12 appropriations bills, and Congress's one big job every year is to pass 12 appropriations bills and set a priority for the federal government, what we want to spend money on and what we don't. But for whatever reason, of course politics is really big at play, they cannot pass 12 appropriations bills and get them signed into law for the life of them. This year alone, there's been 0 of 12 that have been signed into law. So they're saying they want time to negotiate these 12 appropriations bills, but I feel like there's little time to even get that done. There's work in the committees and whatnot, but the basic function of government is seemingly broken.
Well, thanks so much for being here today. Hopefully we're not still talking about a shutdown next week. You can get more from Marisa and the rest of the politics team at washingtonexaminer.com.